Hello everyone, my name is Anas Mohammed, and in today's lecture we are going to speak about the global architecture of AWS. So let's consider the architecture. What is an architecture in AWS? The AWS architecture is basically categorized as regions, availability zones, and edge locations. So in this lecture, we're going to speak about the AWS architecture of regions and availability zones. So let's consider what is the responsibility model shared by AWS. Basically, it means that AWS is actually providing the foundational services and the global infrastructure, and we, the customers who log in into the AWS accounts, are responsible for the encryption, the data. So basically, it means that we are actually ensuring that the data that we have got is secure, and we're doing the encryption of the data. We're using the operating system that is being provided by the AWS. But again, after using the operating system, it is our responsibility to actually ensure that the application that we have got is secure. We've got the right protocols. We've got the security groups, the firewalls, which is being installed properly. So this is our responsibility. So AWS shared responsibility model is basically a dividend between a customer as well as Amazon Web Services. So now in the cloud environment, when we host an application, the application is to be in a private subnet. Okay, so that's our responsibility to ensure that our application is not open to the public. But the application server that is being provided, the infrastructure wherein we host our application, it is the responsibility of AWS. Moving forward, let's see what a region is. So, region is actually a geographical location. So if you have a look into the map here, like Saudi Arabia is a region, we've got India, which is a region, you've got USA, which is like got different regions here. So moving on, there are like 36 regions as of date which are available, and there are 114 availability zones. Let's consider India. In India, we have got Mumbai, which is a region, and in Mumbai, they have got three availability zones. So what is the most important thing to keep in mind is region is nothing but a geographical location where AWS has got its servers, data centers, and the region comprises of availability zones. Like Mumbai has got like three availability zones. So every region has got a minimum of two or more availability zones. If you have a look here, like you've got Northern Virginia here, and you have got like Canada has got two other like regions here. So Europe has got a multiple locations here wherein they have got their like data centers or the servers here in this location. So most important thing is like a region is nothing but a geographical location. Like Mumbai is a region, North Virginia is a region, Saudi Arabia. They have not launched the region here yet because that's why it's showing red color. So they would be launching it soon. So let's move forward and have a look at the regions. If you have a look here, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, it is coming soon. There is another region here. Mumbai is another region in India. Hyderabad is another region. So these are all regions. They are basically just the geographical locations. So if you have a look here, if you can just go to Amazon global infrastructure, you can actually see the entire regions. So here it eventually says I've got 36 regions which are launched and ready to use, and 114 availability zones. Moving forward to our slides, availability zone. Like as I told you, the Northern Virginia is a region, Ohio is another region. So Northern Virginia has got six availability zones. These are called the availability zones. Now, each availability zone can be a data center or multiple data centers. We have got no idea. AWS is the one who's actually looking forward for it. There can be one or multiple data centers in an availability zone. So Northern Virginia is a region which has got six availability zones. Moving forward, so the regions and availability zones, let's see what the slide actually says. So in this, we've got a region. Let's consider this to be Mumbai because Mumbai has got three availability zones. 1A, 1B, 1C. So the most important thing is like all the availability zones, the network is synchronized. They are interconnected to each other, but the data is not synchronized. So data that we have got in 1A, unless and until we configure it, it will not be shared in 1B. So the data which is in 1B will not be the same as the data in availability zone C unless until we configure it that way. But the network is the network here, they are like interconnected to each other. So they can talk to each other, they can speak to each other in simple terms. So that is the difference. So the network is synchronized, but the data in a region in the availability zone is not synchronized. Now moving forward, uh, the characteristics of an availability zone, they've got like six availability zones here. Like Northern Virginia has got six. They are physically separated from each other. Like each availability zone is physically separated from one another. They are connected as a network is synchronized. They are connected with low latency links. Okay, and they are fault tolerance. Like if something happens in like let's consider US East 1A, and then we have got a data somewhere in like US East 1B. So it is fault tolerant. Your data is not gonna go anywhere. So AWS provides a fault tolerant atmosphere. And the other thing is the high availability. This is another thing that AWS provides, wherein all the applications are always, available. Like if you have got something stored in, let's consider the simple storage service, which is the S3, it is there available, but it again depends on you how you are actually storing it as well, as AWS has got a shared responsibility model. So moving on, the last aspect of it, it is the edge locations. Now the edge locations is nothing but like when like let's consider your browser. Your browser has the ability to cache the the DNS. Let's consider if you type google.com for the first time, it will take a long time for you to go to the DNS and then go for the host name and convert the host name to the IP address of the DNS and then come back to our location. So browser is a client that is asking for google.com. For the first time, if you just type google.com, it will take a bit longer, but the browser has got the ability to cache the host names and the domain names. So when the next time you tap google.com, it would eventually go straight to google.com server and it would come back in like fraction of milliseconds. So edge location is nothing but an ability to cache your content for the faster delivery of the application. So let's consider I am in Mumbai. I've got my application here in Mumbai. Now, if somebody from United States is trying to access my application, he will have to travel all the way from from his web server to Mumbai and then fetch the data and then go back all the way. So the latency could be really high. So the time taken for the google.com, let's consider I've got it in Mumbai. So the time taken for it to go all the way to Mumbai and then fetch the data and then go back would be higher. So instead of that, what I can do is I can have an edge location server, like the main server would be in the Mumbai region, but I would be actually hosting it also in another region in the United States so that he could actually go in United States itself rather than traveling all the way to Mumbai to fetch the data. So that is how edge locations work. So it depends on the location. So let's consider somebody from like South America wants to get into my server, which is in Mumbai. I can host an application in an edge location in South America so that he or she could actually get into the server in the edge location where I have got my content being used. So that is the difference between an edge location, availability zone, and the region. So before I conclude, I'd like to say that a region is nothing but a geographical location where AWS has got its data centers. And then each region comprises of availability zones. And each availability zone has got multiple data centers or a single data center. So Let's consider the Northern Virginia has got six, Mumbai has got three. So different regions has got different availability zones, and there are like multiple availability zones in each region. And edge location is nothing but, the locations where we actually cache our content so that the customers of that area could actually go directly to the edge location rather than traveling all the way to the main server to fetch the data. I hope you like the video, and thank you very much for looking into my videos, and I will be getting back soon with another interesting topic.